Hi everybody, this is Amber with A&E Family Farm. I'm here with you today to show you we are working on another project. I have been gone for the last week, and if you watched our last video, I kind of told a little bit about where I was. I was with the Kiko Guru, the lady who brought Kikos to America. She doesn't live very far from us, a few hours, so she had asked if I could come with up there with her and stay while she had some kidding going on, which when I was there like 5 days, and I think we had 4 sets of triplets and some twins. She still had about 20 does to kid, and she already had 70 kids running around on the ground. So I helped her do some farm chores and get some things done. We burned some heads. She doesn't like the horns, so we did that, and ear tagged. So yeah, I'm come back, I'm energized. I've learned a lot, and if you don't know anything about the Kiko breed, please look that up, because I can guarantee you if you Google something about the Kiko breed, you will probably see some of her research papers. She is an amazing woman. Her name is Dr. Pasture. And if you will look her up and look at what all she's done, she truly loves the animals. And her farm is called Goats Unlimited. And if you want a good Kiko goat, I recommend buying from her. So I'm trying to learn her ways and learn how to do everything right, so we can make the right steps and not make any mistakes. So I'm going to take you right over here and show you what we're working on. We are adding to our fencing and putting, you can see the dogs. Maggie, there's Ranger. We're adding to our fencing, putting up some temporary fence and this pasture right here so we can let our other pasture rest. And also we need to separate our bucks that were born. They are 90 days now, a couple of them, and we need to get those separated from those does. So we're going to be working on this, so come along with us and we'll show you what we're doing to try to make a temporary pasture and separate those bucks. And we're gonna put probably 3 of those bucks up for sale. So if you would like to purchase one of those, they are the moms and the dads are registered Kikos, so they can be registered. So we'll have more information on that later and show you that, so come along with it. So what we are using today for our temporary fencing is just some Polywire. It is breaking strength 150 pounds, suggested maximum length up to 2,000 feet. This is a cheap means to temporary fence. I think this is like $45 for this roll. But it's not to be used just as your only fence. So as you can see, we're tying it in to some fencing we already had, so we can separate and do our cross fences with this that we don't want to permanently fence to divide our pastures, because we don't want to put permanent fences down our field like that. So if we had to, we could separate that into a front lot, and then this lot, and then a lot back there if we had to. So that's what we're using today as our fencing. We'll show you how we set our charger up when we get ready to hook the electricity to it. But when we first ran our fencing behind the house, I think we did 5 strands. We're only doing 4 strands on this one. Just because when we first did the fencing in behind the house, Maggie, we had just gotten Maggie, and she was, you know, a small puppy. And so she would get out and get underneath the fence to get out. So we ran 5 strands then. This time our dogs are bigger, our goats are bigger, and they'll get a shock. And they know what the white fencing is, and they know not to touch it. So as you can see, we're running our temporary polywire right here. Just to this gate. We're going to let the goats come in right here where Eric's at. We're going to slide that gate down. We don't have that gate attached to the pole. We're going to slide it down, let our goats come in, and then we're going to pull this line a post up and run it back over here so we could drive the side-by-side right through here. We're going to move this back a little bit so we can drive the side-by-side. We showed you in our other videos how we're building our barn right here. We've already got it laid out. We went today and actually ordered our kit for the middle. The middle of it is going to be right in here, and then we're going to have a lean-to off both sides. So we ordered the material for the middle part right here where the truck is sitting. You can see Kitty. Kitty! Everybody's laying in the sun today. But so just temporarily right now, we're going to put this up, make something work, because we can run electricity from the shop out here and put a charger on this pole right here. So we'll take this down. This is just temporary. So you can see Eric stringing the polywire. I need to get back over here and help him. So stay tuned. So what we have used is about 2 and not even a half spools. All we have is this little corner to finish out what we are doing. We're going to show you right here what you do when you have to splice in the extra wire that we ran out of. Eric's going to tell you how he does it.
All right, this is just kind of a cheap polywire. It's only 6 strands. You really want to look and do your when you're looking for polywire, 9 strands is better. So you want to unravel it 3 or 4 inches. Unravel it, pull out the aluminum wire off each braid, and you'll take those aluminum wires out of each braid, and then you will twist them all together. And once you got that done, it'll look like this. You'll have all the aluminum wires together, and then you have your poly separate. Now, of course, we have to do things the hard way before we ever learn some stuff. So what I have learned in splicing this to make the best splice is I'm fixing to show you. I didn't do it in the beginning when we started fencing, and it hasn't made a problem for us, but it's not really a good way to do it. What we done before is we took our aluminum wires. I've already got this one done, and I took these aluminum wires and I tied them together, and then I cut the poly and I just taped it all up. Well, when you pull on the fence, you're pulling the aluminum wires. So after doing a little research and learning some stuff about some poly, I looked at Jamie Miles has got a video where he put his fence together, and he took this poly, what's left of his poly, and he tied them together, So when your fence is being pulled or stretched, it's the poly, not the aluminum wires, standing a chance of breaking. So I tie them together. That way the fence don't pull directly on the aluminum wires. Just no granny knot. That's an overhand knot for those of you Boy Scouts or rigging qualified people. And then I'll take this aluminum wire and then I'll start twisting it all together. And that makes the best splice. Now with this polywire, it doesn't matter. They say it doesn't matter that you do this, but this is a guaranteed connection. Everything's connected right here. All your current is running through here. People say that you can take your poly and just wrap this around some more, and those braided strings, if you see it right here, get a close up of this. You see these braids that have the aluminum wire? So if you make 1 or 2 wraps around every line, then you have a lot of surface to get a connection. But this is what I found the best way right here. So y'all need to check out Jamie, 7 Stands Farm. He's got all kinds of good tips.
We've learned a lot watching his videos.
Well, we watch a lot of YouTube. So if you don't know something, just look it up on YouTube. There's 500 different ways to do stuff. And you take the best of what you can for what situation you are in, and then you will follow it. Now, if you want to look on Amazon, you can find this poly from them ranchers out west that have lots and lots of acreage. You can buy it in big spools. You can buy it in huge spools, and they have a reel that you could buy that reel it up. Now, we're a little bitty small farm compared to out west. So I have to make homemade devices with a screw gun and a stick, and I'll roll mine up with a screw gun. So that's what it'll look like. So when you pull on this, the poly is tied together and not your aluminum wires. So you don't have a chance of breaking the connection inside there. Hope you learned something from that.
And that's just regular electrical tape that we use to wrap it in.
And this is a curtain rod. Works fine. And I'll wrap it around the post, and I always give it an extra wrap. And over time, you might want to come back and give it an extra wrap
to tighten it up if it gets loose. When it snowed, if you saw my video when Eric was out of town and we had the goats born and it came a snowstorm, the snow had gotten so deep that it was over the whole bottom line of the polywire. So that put the extra weight on it, and I had to wait until it thawed out and then go out there and re-tighten everything up because it was sagging and hitting the ground. So we I didn't show you, we went down and into the woods. It goes a little bit further down as you go, but we probably went about 30 to 40 feet off into the woods We didn't want to go too far at this point, but at some point we're going to build our permanent fencing all the way down to the cemetery that we showed you in our farm tour. And the goats will have all these woods to graze. But for right now, until we get our dogs, they're still pups, and we have a lot of coyotes, and so we want to wait just a little bit longer before we do that and get our dogs a little bit older, and maybe even get a couple of more dogs, especially if we split the herd up and put some of our bucks in one spot and our does in the other. Maybe try to have at least 2 dogs, which right now we only have 10 goats, and we're going to sell probably about 3 of the bucks and keep the 2 does that we had and raise those up to breed. Did you get it finished down here?
Yeah.
He show you what he did. So he just tied it to the pole right there.
That's a dead connection. But each one of them steps down, goes all the way around, comes back around, steps down. But look up here, this is the main feed coming in, and I'm gonna, for those of you that are watching and know about electric fences, now I'm gonna keep that off the metal. We're just now starting to put the fence up. But this runs all the way back where our new barn's gonna be, and we've got a 100-acre charger, and you'll see later on in the video me getting it hooked up. What they say, what keeps a goat in? Well, I read online yesterday, somebody made a comment on somebody's page, whatever. Take a bucket of water, fill it up, take it over to the fence, and throw the bucket of water through the fence. If the water goes through the fence, so will the goat. Well, that's pretty much true. So when I researched what it takes to put up electric fence to keep predators out, now most time your goats will learn what that rope is. Once they get bit once or twice, they're not going to challenge that rope no more. Now, when your buck or your billy comes in heat, there's no fence going to keep him away from that woman. So this pasture that we're putting together here is on the other side. He can't see them. He don't even know they're over there. Now, he might get a whiff in the air every now and then, but he don't see them. So I don't think he'll challenge this fence. He knows what this fence will do. But left to be determined. All right. So when I researched what really you need to do for electric fence, we do have a solar charger, but it's for poultry netting, and we got a bunch of poultry netting. And it's only 0.15 joules, not very much. Now, Amber knows it'll jolt you, but it won't really keep a goat out, or a goat in, or a predator out. So what we're running is 6 joules. That's equivalent to 6,000 volts. Now, what you research, you'll find out if you research that 5 joules is the minimum to keep predators out, goats in, just on the minimum. So we're running 6 joules on our charger. But that doesn't matter how many joules you have. It doesn't matter how many volts it can put out. I'll teach you a little later what I learned from research about grounding. If the more ground you got, the better it is. So you'll see that later on. If you're looking into getting solar, there's some solar chargers that put out 3 joules and on up there, but they are high dollar. So we got electric plug-in. It's pulsating. Actually, our chargers, we got 2 that runs half the farm on that side and half the farm on this side. They're good for 100 acres apiece. We only have 54 acres, so we're not really worried about that. I've got permanent fencing going to go in later on, so This is just temporary, but I want to make sure it's hot enough that once they learn it, it's a psychological thing. Even Maggie and Max, when we feed them a treat, they won't get 4 feet close to this fence. When we have to hand the treats over, they stand way back. Well, they know what it's about. So if you're looking into doing what we're doing today, do your research. We did that. Look up all you can. This is the quickest, fastest way to make temporary fencing if you have the ability for electricity, and it's a lot cheaper for temporary fencing. So stay tuned, you'll see us hook up the charger and stuff.
Right down here at one time they had a barbed wire fence, so we're having to unattach it right here. They had it run down through the woods. We got to cut those little things off the fence. But you can see the goats are going to have a pretty good bit to eat, about probably 40-50 foot down in here, and then it goes down for a long ways and then comes back up at the other end of the field where the gate is that we showed you.
It's a different day, another day, next day. We was working on the polywire for the new temporary buck pen, and we had to go to a dinner last night, so it's a new day. We got everything done this morning, so we're gonna try to coach these goats. I'm gonna bring the whole herd to begin with, and then we'll separate out the boys later on. So stay tuned, we'll see how this works. I don't know, I got a bucket of feed. We'll see if they follow.
Uh-oh, you shouldn't have dropped it. Come on, Maggie. Get your goats. Come on. Hey, Whiskey. It's my Whiskey. It's my Whiskey. Come on. Come on. You got a new pasture to eat. Honeybee's coming. Oh, Honeybee likes it.
want to explain to you about this temporary setup we got. This is the charger that we got running the other side of the farm, and as you see, it's a 6 joule. It'd run 100 miles for 600 acres. We're after the joules, not the length. We're after the joules. So, like I explained yesterday, 5 joules is pretty much the minimum to keep out predators, to keep out the predators, the coyotes and whatever, bobcats, whatever tries to get on it. My little tester that we have, that we test it with, it shows 6,000 volts. So it's pretty. I ain't touched it, so I don't want to touch it. The goats have bumped into it a time too, and the dogs, and they won't even get close. But it's all about your grounding. So this is temporary. We're fixing to build our barn right here. We've already got our hose drilled. Like yesterday, we went and ordered the kit. It'll be here in 2 weeks. We'll get that built. And once we get the barn built, I will run power from the shop over here to the barn, put a box in the barn, then I can put the charger in the barn, and it can run this whole side of the farm. But like I said, it's temporary. This is an 8-foot rod. As you see, I've drove it down on the ground about 4 feet. Temporary. Every 10 foot, you add a rod. And the more rods you add, the better your system's gonna operate. Now, this fence is probably older than I am, and I'm 51 years old. It's been here a long time. They have ground rods stationed out throughout the fence, and there's one way on down. So temporarily I put these in, and when I build the barn, I will put more in. That other system on the other side of the farm we're running 6 rods, and they're buried 6-7 feet in the ground. So it'll jolt you. The more ground you got, the more the system will work better. So just food for thought. I learned that off of YouTube. So right now we just got a temporary system put up, 3 ground rods. I temporarily put a pole in the ground, post, until we get the barn built. This is what we got. Got to cover it up, keep it all from getting weather, rain on. Run extension cord. We have a lot of old extension cords from years ago when we used to tent camp. So we have a bunch of extension cords. So I cut them and make them whatever I need them. So I run extension cord to the outlet in the shop temporarily. And as you can see, I took extension cord, cut it, and I spliced it into the polywire. And now that fence is hot. I would get my meter and show you, but it's hard to see in the daylight. Hold on, I'll go get that. I'll be right back. All right, I went and got my tester, small tester. They're cheap. Now you can spend some good money on a good tester, which what we will wind up doing. You can hook it, and it's battery operated. It'll tell you your voltage, and it'll tell you if you got voltage drop on which side, and you can scoot it along the fence, and it'll pinpoint where your voltage drops at. So one of these days I'm gonna get you one of them. They're kind of expensive, but they're the best thing. So this is, I don't know how much this was. We got it at Rural King, but if you see, it goes up to 7,000 volts. Stick this in the ground so you can ground it. Get up in here. It's going to be hard to see because it flicks. I don't know if you can see that or not. Shows up good at dark.
Yeah, I see it just a
But
little
that's
bit.
popping at 6,000. Each line. So, and what we done is we didn't run like a strand on top and go back and run a strand. We started on that row, went all the way around on the top. When that row runs out, take a new row and you splice them. Once you get all the way back around, you just drop down to the next loop, and then you start your next run all the way around, down to the next loop. You can put as many strands as you want. So 4 strands is all we're gonna run on this side, and I think Amber explained that. So we're not experts, we learning, and maybe the Bucks and Maggie, and we're gonna leave Maggie and Max over here with the boys, build them a shelter here in the next day or two. Right now we got it open. As you see, it's open, and I want them to be comfortable with how to get over here on this side.
They can still get back over to the barn and the other field right now, the way we have it set up. But as you can see, they're loving eating. And Max and Maggie, they're seeing what they can find. This old home place has all kinds of stuff scattered throughout the woods. I think it looks like Maggie has dug some kind of bicycle tire or something up, chewing on it down there. So there's no telling what we'll find.
All right, guys, we want to say thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You will get all the latest videos as we put them out. We are trying to do better. I think I went back and watched one of the first videos here recently, and I'm thinking, wow. So we have improved a little. We want to keep improving with the videos as well as with the goats. That's our whole focus. So we want to get better and better and better. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We do follow a bunch of people, and we thank you guys for following us. Giving a shout out again for Jamie Miles on 7 Stands Farm. If you want to know more about Dr. Ann's Pasture, Jamie does do 2 video interviews with Dr. Ann, and you need to go back and watch those videos on Jamie's page or Jamie's channel and see if you want to know about the Kikos. A lot of controversy with a lot of people thinking different thoughts about the Kikos, but go back and check that out.
She's the lady that brought them to America, and everybody has traces all of their lives, all of their Kiko goats trace back to her. So she has a very interesting story, and she shared with me that maybe one day she'll have her book finished and everyone will be able to read that. And just listening to her, some of her stories, it's amazing. She's an amazing woman.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll put up the temporary shelters and try to get our barn built. We'll get some video on that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Keep saying that, but we need your help. We need to get the subscribers up, and please comment. Hey, if you got ideas, comments, whatever, we try to respond to all of them appropriately. So
even negative comments.
Even the negative comments. I mean, hey, the only feelings I got was in my teeth, and that's all falling out now. So I really don't have no feelings. You can't hurt me. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hope everybody has a happy Easter and gets to spend time with their family. So till next time, I'm Amber.
And I'm Eric.
And we're A&E Family Farm. Thanks for watching.